But we have joining us today, we do have Mr. Sesan Okunade, who is here with us, public affairs analyst, and one who's wondering what's happening to the Constitution of Nigeria and the way Nigerians are indeed embracing the law. But we'll talk about that in a bit. It's a backroom conversation that we had, all of us in the studio.
We should make it front room.
Yes.
But tomorrow we're making it a front room conversation.
Yes, we have to. But let's go straight to our very first paper. The leadership is where we're going to go to. Let's see what the paper says on the front page. I'm going to start off at the top. PCC resolves, 15,077 cases in 6 months. Good one. That's a good one. 2025 Hajj, Narcan urges peace amid squabbles. I hope you know what's going on with the entire Hajj decision and the story, the press releases and so on. We'll talk about that later on. But let's go to the big one. NCC gives telcos 90 days to resolve unclaimed airtime. And then Nigeria reaffirms one China policy, says Beijing not bully. Presidency defends Nigeria's fiscal federalism, says no universal template. Mismanagement are a real problem. Shatima, we must strengthen our system. Namadi will ensure all our children are in school. Kano Governor Akwa Ibom boasts of impactful policies and so on. But let me just focus on the one I'd like you to start with. Let's look at the current case of insecurity or cases, because there seem to be way too many, especially starting from the weekend. Bandits attack Sokoto, kill 3 fishermen. That story still on the news and the likes. Let's start off with that. Insecurity first.
Thank you very much. The level at which we are experiencing this is no longer worrisome. It's becoming something unexplainable, if you ask me. Yes, it has moved from the level of even having attacks of people to the level at which people are depressed, and the level of accidents that takes off life in the last few months becoming too much.
Last weekend was just terrible.
I hardly want to, from Friday to Saturday to Sunday. So you ask yourself, when will you wake up a day and reduce the, there are people that are dying normally, that is a normal natural causes just to die normal. But the one that is man-made is what is worrisome. Talked about insecurity, talked about depression that leads to people losing concentration even on the road. That's more chaotic because you're just driving your road. Just on my way yesterday, I think to the station, one guy just bumped on me from behind, and I'm like wondering what's the problem. Is to speak to the so much promises from the government that people are not getting. I will continue to emphasize it, that an environment that is not secure, there is no amount of prosperity that you can speak to that. I will always emphasize to say there were periods in this country where people make night travel. I know some people will say people still travel at night, but I'm sure it's a suicide mission, because even traveling during the day is chaotic. You cannot predict what you will meet on the road. And I'll look at it to say, when you get to the road, you will see policemen, and just right behind them, attacks are actually being done. And you say, what is actually happening? I think, was it last week or thereabout, we heard about NSA asking people to come up and defend themselves. Why have we suddenly, or how did we suddenly get to this atmosphere that insecurity is pervading everywhere, and we expect growth to happen? Those days that you can wake up and travel at night, get to the other city in the morning, carry out your business, and come, has gone back. That people are now scared. You cannot even fly. So when you accumulate all those things together, I don't see the economic viability, because you transfer those things into your operating cost, which will definitely increase the cost of practically everything, even if you have to make those things locally.
Yes. How do we get to a point where we say, okay, enough is enough? The killings in Ondo State everywhere, let's have a hard reset and start from a clean slate. Mr. President, clean slate. Mr. President, as we speak, is currently in France on a working visit. For the optics of it, and as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, the buck stops at his table. Do you think he should call off that working visit and return to the country as soon as possible to face matters of urgency? And is it possible, is there any country that is 100% secure, to at least manage this insecurity, which didn't start with this government, to a barest minimum?
Yeah, well, let me pick the question of whether to call Mr. President to come back. We are not in that capacity to advise him. His advisors are there. They are paid to give him the necessary directive.
Yeah, but we're Nigerian citizens.
As Nigerian citizens, every of the advice we've been given, how many of it has worked? So the advisors that are paid to do that, if I'm paid to be his advisor tomorrow, ask me that question, I'll give you the right answer. But those that are paid to carry the edict should advise him accordingly, whether to come back or not. But on the aspect of saying, how do we address this thing? I think it's high time we go to this issue of state policing. If there was a time the IGP came up and said we are not ripe for it. But I think every state has its own peculiarity, and we should address it the way it comes headlong. You cannot call the governor the chief security officer of the state and cannot have 100% control on things that goes on within that area. We have this regional policing structure, the Amotekun, Ibube, and the likes in all the regions. Can we consolidate to say, can every state take responsibility of what goes on so that I can hold the governor? The one that happened in Uromi that led to the killing of Saturday is being fought and back. It's you, it's not me, it's this, it's they are hunters, they are not hunters, and the likes. Can we have state policing enacted? And let's see how we can make use of this particular thing as against the backdrop of this federal character of everybody have to wait from the federal government to take instruction in the area of policing.
Let's hear from Darren, who's calling from Imo State. Good morning, Darren. Please go ahead with your comment.
Thank you so much. I just want to respond to a comment you just said. When do we get to the end of this? When do we call a spade a spade? When we call a spade is when we say the truth to ourselves. Tell ourselves the truth. These people that are doing all this killing, everybody knows who they are, but we are afraid to call them out. That we all know the particular people doing this killing all over Nigeria. Going to villages in Plateau, going to villages in Enugu State, going to villages in Plateau State. But when it comes to the news, people are too afraid to mention their names. I believe if it were to be Igbo people, mentioning their names is very, very easy. Everyone will show their faces. But because these people are second house, nobody wants to call their names. Until we're ready to call their names, that is when this thing will start solving the problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Darren, for joining us and sharing your thoughts. We'll come back to talk about this more. We'll be heading to Cape Town, where we are hosting the 17th Biennial Conference being hosted at the International Association of Women Judges Conference held in Cape Town. And it's happening right now from the 9th to the 12th of April 2025 in Cape Town. We have President Cyril Ramaphosa addressing, and we'll take a live feed from there, after which we'll come back to continue the conversations here.
And to address your conference, whose theme is resilience, women in leadership, to end gender-based violence and femicide. And for me, without being presumptuous, I would have liked to have suggested a slight addition or amendment to your theme and say that the theme should really be women and men in leadership to end gender-based violence. I say so advisedly because there was a time when a woman leader of a women's organization once said,
that seem to have a little network connectivity issues there, but you can also call in as we go back to the papers. Olive, what paper you be looking at?
All right, looking at the daily, no, let's start with the Daily Times. Ndome to Tinubu, your recent apps appointments violate federal character principle, make amends, he says. We also have eulogies as Tinubu, OBJ, Obi, Mon, Pascal Dozier at 85. With Wike, PDP should forget 2027 presidential election, says Governor.
Says
Governor. We're not sure which governor says that exactly. Reps probe CBN over 1.12 trillion naira ABP farmer funds. Natasha, group threatens Senator Nweboyi with recall. Witness narrates how 3 billion naira Kogi local government funds were allegedly laundered. Governor Zulum Shehu of Borno raised alarm over rising Borno attacks. That's all on the Daily Times. And let's go to the Daily Independent newspaper now.
okay. I wanted us to touch on the headline
PDP
there.
should forget.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should move to the Daily Times.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the headline.
So
The
we
recent
the
appointment. Now, I'm just
magic wand.
First and foremost, I'm feeling sorry for the copywriter at the Daily Times. Appointment is not apps. Yes, exactly. So if you can, there's a play on English that you can use to get in all the message. Anyway, let's get to
I
the
think we're
message
just trying to
proper.
get into
The feelers we've been getting from Nigerians, and we do this a lot, which is wrong. Somebody did it. Why didn't you complain when your kinsman was doing it? President Buhari started this. So it's not in your place to say this or highlight this. And also, there's a second leg to it, that the presidency's response to his message. They looked at the message for its merit and everything they saw there, their best response could be. 2 of your kinsmen were appointed into NNPC last week. So, what are you saying? What do you make of this issue of federal character? Just last week, 2 appointments were announced. NNPC GM. Yoruba man from the southwest. Bank of Agriculture. Yes, another young Yoruba
From the
man.
southwest.
Yes, from the southwest, and we've seen this play out. Are there constitution? What does a constitution say about this implementation of federal character? Does it only apply to service chiefs and ministers? Does it also apply to ministries and MDAs, or is left at the president's discretion? Because at this point, people are wondering that this tribe of people only good for heading all these agencies. What happened to all Nigerians? That the president got a pan-Nigerian mandate and not just votes from the southwest. So, what's your take?
Yeah, Benga, we'll continue to face this problem until we change the narration. And that the narration is, can we play down this ethnicity that we keep pushing up and down is from the north, and look for merits as against, is a bad precedent left for me. And I've had opportunity in every forum that I go to say, can we speak to more of merit as against this ethnicity of saying is from this side, is from that side. Let's look for the good man that can do the work, and we'll move ahead. That is why you will see killing in this part of the state, and there will be reprisal from the other area, because we are not seeing ourselves as one. And that's the fundamental problem created by our forefathers, to saying we are having intertribal marriage. How do you manage issues to say somebody who is from the southeast has claimed that was born in Lagos, but because she bears Chinyere, who understand the southwest language, you are now saying is from the southeast. She's already part and parcel of us, because she understands the language, she understands everything. I think we should start having a different narration to see how we can have laws that will bring us together to say one Nigeria, and we go on the path of merit.
And why else is not doing that?
And why we let it?
No, you need to complete your sentence.
You see, and you see a lot of people moving from one place and say you must go to this place to balance it. I feel we should have a reorientation
totally
and see.
understand your take on merit. I mean, it should be But I don't think we're there yet as a country. And also, on that merit argument, people would also tell you that, look, okay, are these the only guys that are...
I'm not supporting the aspect of saying every appointment must be from the Southwest, because the last administration gave room for his kingsmen to actually lead, and now it's our turn. We should give. So the next person coming will revert the status quo. And that's why I'm of the opinion that rather than seeing ourselves as different segregation or different ethnic, can we come together to say, well, he's still my brother, he's still your brother, he's still your sister, and with what? Because part of the problem I'm faced with is when a president comes in or a leader, do you know it's not only even at the federal level, even at the state level, you discover that when some governor comes in, they try as much as possible to concentrate in developing their locality and wait for your own time. When your own people comes in, that's when, and you start seeing certain set of people saying, no, we've actually been shortchanged. And that creates problem when election is coming to say, no, it's our turn. This certain set of people are held this position for certain. So it's not only at the federal level, even at the state level, we are facing that problem. At the local government level, some people will say, even within the local content, you are concentrating on this. Until we consider that fact to say, can we come together as well? It's a very daunting task that is difficult to achieve, but we will not get them there.
They should learn from Breakfast Central. We have federal character, Joe is from Akwa Ibom, Yoruba, and Adair Olive is from UK.
A balanced the diaspora combined with the local
Very balanced character.
but I feel that that's how we should start thinking to see how we can go. People will tell, because what is creating the division every day is I'm from this side, he's from this side, we control the resource, we are not getting value for it. Can we have one Nigeria? The division created by our forefathers, can we look for a way to bring that?
Does that mean that, do you support what Governor Alex Otti is doing in his state, where he's taking away state of origin and saying, forget about that, it shouldn't be priority in documents and so on, let's just live as the people of Nigeria and get things done, even if the person is not from our state?
100%.
You know,
100%. This state of origin is actually a problem. Tomorrow, even within the Southwest, somebody will say, born and brought up here, and my parents are from another state. They will tell you that you can't claim Lagos because you are not an indigenous of Lagos. But I was born and brought up here. So this state of origin, we need to just collapse it. And I should have lived all my life, as in all my life. And you have a lot of people like that. That's why I gave that example of somebody from the southeast, somebody from the north. We've had people from the southwest here that were born and brought up in the north. When they speak this Hausa language, you will think that they are from there, but from their name, you might actually come with, oh, this guy is from that other side. So when they now want to do anything, they say, no, you are not entitled to. But we've contributed a lot to the growth of that particular place. So I support there, you are living everything, the every of your life.
People who are born in Lagos and have lived their lives in Lagos, that even understand, you know, the system here, the culture, tradition, understand Yoruba language much more than their own indigenous language.
So I feel I support OT in that aspect. If other state governor can adopt that to say, you've been here, we've seen the value that you've actually contributed to it. That's why when the issue of this Boko Haram started, they will say, okay, these people that were actually captured, we will send them back to their state. When the problem, the failure of that particular state actually encouraged those people to go into that act. You are now moving them to another state. So I support Governor Otti, and if other governors can adopt that particular thing. Let it be a level playing ground that when you see the compilation of, you know, commissioners in a state, I think we've done that in Lagos. We've seen that in Lagos, although people will say it's cosmopolitan states where everybody is allowed to come in. But I want to go to your state and I see somebody like Chinyere Chukwu, you know, being part of the commissioner. See Ahmed Usman being part of the commissioner, because a lot of them are stayed in that state. They were born there, they grew up there, everything that is expected of them, and we all move together. With that, we start integrating. And before you know it, you won't know that, no, I'm from the north, I'm from the south.
Let's move to Benue now. We have Chimezie calling from Benue State. Good morning, Chimezie. Chimezi, are you still with us?
Oh, we lost that call.
Sorry.
We lost that call.
Sorry, we lost that call.
All right. Let's see if we could take another paper, Daily Trust in particular. This Daily Trust, I think the main header there has gotten a response while we sat here. Borno losing ground to terrorists. Zulum, 3 LGAs under Boko Haram's control. Shehu of Borno says, the governor, like before you came in, we did talk about this on the program just an hour ago. The governor has been screaming out loud that the state is being captured, not by political party, but of course by bandits. Yes, he's been talking about that. The army has responded to this by saying that, I mean, while he made this statement, there were also concerns that the army needs to do more. They're not doing enough. But the army also responded in the Punch and said that, oh no, that they're doing a lot. That why is he saying so? But let's look at this. I know we touched on insecurity earlier on, but now we're starting to see it move from a different trajectory. We've seen the north, we've seen the middle belt, which seems to be like, for me, like I said, it's like a dividing line. If you have to move from north, you know, down to the west, you have to pass through the middle. So the middle belt is also suffering. Displacement here and there. The food basket of the nation is now suffering. It's coming down to the southwest, and then we're hearing places like Ondo that was relatively safe and peaceful now being fearful.
Yeah, you see, I'll still take you back to this idea of saying, can we have state policing? If Governor Zulum is raising this alarm and the Nigerian army is responding by saying we are doing a lot, that means there is no sync between the governor and the military apparatus, because there should be a convergence where we will be able to say, oh, they're actually putting in their best is in this area. Who provides the information to the military, and who do they report to? They report to someone who is not in that state, who will come up tomorrow and say, the report from the CSO of the state is false because it is not 3 local government, it's 1 as against 3. And the owner of the house, the owner who presides over the state is saying this is happening. But you know, it will be much more easier for us if Governor Zulum is in charge of the security architecture of that particular state to say both the military, the police, the NCS, DCE and the likes, he has his network, or even the vigilante group. He will be able to speak boldly to say, fine, we have these challenges, but we are working in this direction.
Let's take this call. We have Bethel from Port Harcourt. Bethel, thanks for joining us. You can go ahead.
Hello, Bethel. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Go ahead. Speak up, please, and go ahead.
Talking about the insecurity in Nigeria, I'm still of the opinion that the problem we have till tomorrow is this one Nigeria of the thing. Can you tell me how will some persons come to my community where I call my abode, where I was born and brought up, and kill, maim, and leave without anybody interrupting them? And I still can't find out where somebody will tell me that Nigeria is not right for state police. I think every state should govern themselves. Somebody cannot live as far as where he is, come to my state and to tell me that he is a hunter. Who passed you? Who gave you the pass to come and hunt in my land? See, the problem is, the problem we are having, animals are not being killed. Animals are not being killed. The people being killed are human beings. The same blood that runs through your veins runs through their veins too. And okay, you guys cited the issue of Zamfara state governor. How will a governor not be? The governor said they captured these guys, and the next day they were released. Is it the kind of country we want to run? See, I am the opinion that we should go our separate ways.
I'm serious for we to preserve our culture and differences. Somebody cannot carry cow come to your land without any permit to graze. What is wrong with the government? And after the killing, nothing will happen. Nobody will even say anything.
Thank you, Bethel. Thanks for your call. I mean, back to you.
Yeah, you see, if you are able to practice this state policing of a thing, it will bring more innovation on the part of the governor. Speaking to the aspect of identification, you can have a database. You don't just come in freely. People can talk that, are we going now to be taking visa to enter into each state? If you travel to US, I'm sure as soon as you're coming in, they are logging in that this is the direction you're going. People are monitoring your activities and we have a tracker. The fact is, we have technology in place. Are we utilizing it as far as some of the things that we have? If you go on state policing, you have idea of your population, you have idea of the number of security men you need to actually groom. I keep telling individuals that if you look at the way Lagos State handles security, you know, we have this Lagos State Security Trust Fund, where you have the RRS, you know, responding to certain issues, not the regular policemen, to actually salvage situation. Each state can develop such, in such a way that you can respond swiftly. And when you now motivate them, so if I'm a policeman in Lagos, and Lagos is taking good care of me, the next thing is that people will be encouraged to join police force. People, I keep saying it, when you look at the level...
They might be posted to another state.
But when it is your state, it is your state. So not the one that they will say quota system. Lagos give us 50, Ibadan give us 10, or you give us 30, and we centralize it and we now dish it out. No. Even if it is an Hausa man that resides in Lagos and he wants to join the police force, we will recruit you. But we know you are serving us in Lagos, and the responsibility is there to deliver security to the state. And the CSO officer, who is the governor, is on top of the game. This one that the CP reports to the IGP, get instruction, and the governor is just blank of what instruction is actually going on. We should just minimize it.
Sure,
we've had safer area in some of the states that are actually practicing this. And I think we can take it further by empowering the state in such a way that they can provide the security that is needed.
One of the fears that opponents of state policing would always put up, their argument is that we're not yet ripe, in the sense that some of those governors and politicians will turn them to personal militias and use them to go after their opponents. And you've seen the weaponization of Agbera and poverty during elections. You've seen, so I mean, on paper it sounds like a brilliant idea, but like they say,
they practically, I was about to say that even without you practicing that, those people are emboldened. It is the people that will stand against them. I'm sure at times when some of these people gather,
that they tear gas for just exercising their civic rights in a peaceful way.
The people that tear gas are police from the central. There will be laws. God, the way you police in Lagos is not the same way you want to go and police in Ondo State.
They tear gas them in Abuja too.
When you talk of Abuja, Port Harcourt, Kano, Lagos, they know the kind of people that you actually breed in those areas. And you must give it. You can't go to some states that we all consider, we know how peaceful they can be, and want to use the kind of strategy that you will use in central areas to actually police. And that's why I said there are peculiarities to each state. So when you give that power, see this idea of saying you weaponize it, the state governors will use it against their opponent. If they use it against you and you know what actually you're doing, you will stand your ground and your people will stand with you. And that's the path we need to go. But what we are saying is that we need security. If an area is not secured, you can imagine if the level of kidnapping and killing is on the rise in Lagos, you and I will not be able to go anywhere. And that will hamper on the economic growth. We won't be able to come out and say we are the 6th largest economy in Africa. We won't be able to boast of that. It's because we are experiencing little security. And that's why you can see the extension of going to neighboring states around us, and you can't compare yourself with people. So we must look for a way to say, I'm an advocate of state policing. Whether somebody will hijack it and instrumentality against opposition is a discussion for another day. But can we do something differently and see whether we can have a different result from it, as against just repeating the same thing, posting someone who do not, and language plays a major barrier. Somebody who has actually grown, if you are posted to a state and they are speaking a language you don't understand, you'll be there until they even finish you as a security person. They would have sold you for 1 kobo. I will just be there looking. But when
Google Translate or Duolingo.
When they are talking to you, you are using Google Translator. Which time will you now use to hold the ammunition?
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time with us this morning. Thank you to our callers as well, as many who have been a part